wanted to do tonight was really just kind of have a discussion around things that we do for mindset. And I thought I would ask the ladies this question so they can answer. And then those of you that are listening, we want you to answer too. And the question is, well, let me do the setup for the question first. Would we all agree 2020 was just a little stressful? I mean, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a wee bit, right? So, if it wasn't for you, hallelujah. But for the rest of us, just a little bit. And so my question is, what do you do to stay positive, or what did you do to stay positive in the midst of the challenges of 2020? So I'm going to ask Sherry first. What were some things that you did to stay positive in the midst of everything that was going on? I'm also going to ask those of you that are watching to put it in the chat too.
Yeah. Well, I first of all, I want to say good evening to everyone and welcome. And I'm just so dang on excited. I figured out how to do the watch party. And I think it's just Facebook messing with us, and they were hiding features and now they unhid them because they're always changing stuff. So I've got some people on my page that are watching, as well as people on our company page. But I think for one of the big things for me was I turned the TV off. It is amazing how much television can just mess your head up. I remember when COVID first started happening, and I was actually working in a tax office, and it was crazy. It was really bad in the New York metro area, and there was like 24-hour news coverage about it. And I started getting caught up in it. And then I was like, you know what? I can't watch this all day. And I had to turn it off. And I know we want to stay connected. We want to know what's going on, but that does not mean that you have to watch the news or CNN or whatever your news station of choice is. You don't have to watch it all the time. Just because it is airing does not mean that you need to watch it. And so that was I'm very protective. You see my shirt says, do not disturb. That's my mindset. I can't have things that are going to sort of mess up my game or put me in the wrong place. And I feel that all that constant, bad, sad, scary news was just disturbing my groove, my vibe. It was messing with me. And so I had to shut it out. So that was the biggest thing that I did.
Okay. What about you, Lakeisha? Wait, you're on mute. Now you're not on mute. Go ahead.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone. Just to be honest with you, you guys know, I don't know that I necessarily stayed positive in 2020. Between my husband having a stroke, having to move, managing a construction rehab project, launching this company with you guys, I think I was more crazy than positive, to be quite honest. The good thing is I'm not a negative person, just in general. So I don't believe negativity oozed from me. I think most of you were just concerned for me because, my cup runneth over. So, and people need to understand you're not always going to be bouncing off the walls or happy or positive. Sometimes you're just not in that space. And I really was not in 2020. It's my honest answer.
Okay. So if I had to answer that, I think one of the things that I did was remind myself that it was a season. And again, I use this analogy with living in Chicago. We have the worst winters. But if you ask anybody who lives here, they live for the summers. So it doesn't matter if it's negative 52 in January. We know that come July, it's going to be 90. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, a ton of things to do. And so I kept telling myself that this was a season. And just like winter, it will come to an end. And it doesn't matter how cold it gets, winter, the summer will still come. And, again, we don't know in Chicago if summer's coming in May or July, but we know it's going to show up at some point. And so that was something that I did, was really just remind myself that this is a season and that it will not last forever. And that was one of the ways that I think I fought through it, was just to remember that. And then, so here's another question. And what's your self-talk if you're facing a new challenge or maybe a setback? What are you saying to yourself as you go through something like that to keep yourself going? Who wants to take that one? Okay, Lakeisha looks like she thinking, so I'm gonna ask Sherry
All
first.
right, I'll jump in because I see
the wheel spinning.
I can hear the person's voice in my head, and she's saying, I can do hard things. And, everybody knows, if you don't, you should know, everybody knows that, sorry, you guys, somebody's actually calling me, but everyone knows that I am huge with Peloton, and there is a trainer there named Tunde. And she always says, I can do hard things. And so when things seem hard, I know that I can do it. I tell myself I can do this. And one of the things I really work to do is get the word can't out of my vocabulary. Can't and especially try. Those two words just don't, if you hear me saying them, something's really going on with me. But I can do hard things. We've done hard things. And if you've done it once, you can absolutely do it again and again and again. I don't like to do them, and I don't want to do hard things all the time. But a lot of times those hard things make you so much better, so much stronger. So I can do hard things.
I like that.
My self-talk, it's really what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So you can get through this. Stay focused. That's my self-talk.
Cool. So mine, I have three little ones. One is looking at challenges as opportunities. Now that's easier said than done, right? Because when the challenge comes, sometimes you just want to lay down and fall out and, have a tantrum like you're 2 years old. But that only lasts for about 5 minutes when you're an adult. People don't really tolerate that. So how do you look at this challenge as an opportunity and really thinking about it from, if I want to say that I have a growth mindset, then it's relishing these opportunities for self-improvement. I'll use this business, for example. I've learned, we all have had to learn things. We've had to wear 10 hats because, well, there are 3 of us. And it's about, you can't just say, throw your hands up. You got to figure it out. And so it's really taking that challenge and looking at it as a way of how do I show up better. I think the second one, and I saw this today, I read it and I was like, yeah, I got to steal this. And it said, replacing the word failing with learning. When I make a mistake or fall short of the goal, I haven't failed, I've learned. And that was a big aha for me because I know I've been guilty of saying this failed or that failed. And so really turning that around to a learning. And then this last one was use the word not yet. So just because something hasn't been done, hasn't happened, hasn't manifested, not yet. Because that means it's not terminal. There is still an opportunity. Every day you wake up, there's a new opportunity and a new day for new blessings. So that's mine. So if anybody wants, I see some people chatting. Hey, Dee, I can do hard things. I'm going to turn it over to Lakeisha for hers.
So before I share mine with you, if you guys are resonating with the things that we're saying and this is making sense, you were like me, you had a beyond crazy year last year, give us some thumbs up in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Many of you have joined us since we started. We want to know what city you're representing. So throw that in the chat. Let us know and give us some hearts, give us some encouragement, some feedback in the chat. Okay. So mindset, or really last week, I shared how our bodies our minds and our spirits need to be balanced, right? And I feel like I am the poster child for being able to talk about it since I had so much imbalance. And, the technical term for this is homeostasis. And so this week, I'd really like to share some insights into how I get my mind right. Many of you know that I love music, all genres, rap in particular as well, and hip hop. But there is a rapper that has a song out. It's kind of old school to my age, but it basically talks about how you need to get your mind right, right? And so I always think, what is it that I need to do? But it happened to me last week, and I know not everyone has their own thing that they believe in, but I believe in God and I pray each and every day. And every weekday, I have a prayer partner, and very early in the morning, we rise and we pray for one another. We pray for so many different things, but that's one of the things that is really helpful for me to start my day with something positive, because we all know so many different things come or hit us throughout the day that can, take the wind from beneath your wings or stop you in your tracks or kind of take you off your square sometimes. So I want to ask you guys, what is it that you focus on that helps you get your mind right? Is there something that you do daily, one thing in particular? I want to hear what you do.
Okay, I'll go. So I have a calendar reminder on my phone that I've had for probably 3 years, and it is a daily mantra, and it's set for, 7:45 a.m., something like that. And it's something personal to me, so I won't read it, but it is just a daily mantra that I recite about my life and the life that I envision. And so that's something that is that is part of my daily, every day. And I would say probably in the last 6 months, maybe, I started using the Calm app, and they have 10-minute morning meditations, which I love. What I really like about it is every day there's a new topic, and it never fails that if it's a particularly stressful week, or I know that day is, a lot to do or accomplish or think about or whatever, it never fails that the topic for that day seems to be just what I need to hear in that moment. And so those two things are really my morning focus, which I think helps get me in a good space to start the day.
How about you, Sherry?
My response is actually similar to Rhonda. I stay focused on the vision. There are so many roadblocks, and I think about the cartoons and the tacks in the road that will get on your tire and flatten your tire, and just all kinds of unexpected things that come up. But I think when your vision is really clear, and I have a vision board that is sitting right here. You can't see it, but it's next to my desk. It used to be behind me, but now it's on the other side of my desk. But looking at my vision board every single day, multiple times a day, just to remind me where I'm going. And I think that creates some resiliency and also some focus. So that is really important to me, is just to always remember where it is that I'm going. And it may not be a straight path, and that's okay. Someone said to me, sometimes you got to take a step back to be able to move forward. And the first couple of times I heard it, I was like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever, because I'm very logical. But as you go through life experiences, you start laughing at me.
As my daddy used to say, just keep living.
Exactly. Yeah. As you start to have experiences, and you're really like, well, I thought I wasn't moving in the right direction, and I thought I was failing, or I thought, that wasn't the right step. But when you realize that now you can leap over other things and move faster. So I like to slow up to speed down. I'm slow up to speed down. Lord, slow down to speed up. I swear there's only water in my bottle, but sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Let me be very clear with what I'm saying. And you have to be able to laugh at yourself. So I'm also getting a lot of good comments from the watch party on my page. I hear people talking about they like to walk outside and breathe in fresh air. I have a philosophy: I will not be shook. Every morning I place my hand over my heart and thank it for all it does for me in any given moment. So they're dropping some knowledge over on my page. Glad to see that we got a good crew over here that have joined the watch party. So thank you everybody for joining in, and we're glad to have you there.
One of the other things that I do, and it may seem a little bizarre, but when my things are in disarray, it's challenging for me to focus. So not only do I have to get my mind right, by focusing mentally, I need to tidy up and organize, right? So for me, because, last year was such a run here, run there, run everywhere, do this, do that, before I would know it, at the end of the week, I would have a stack of mail. And we all know that if you don't manage mail, mail will manage you. And so one of the things that I do, that I did before 2021 began, and even now that we are in, the first few weeks of 2021, when the mail comes, I go through it, I shred what needs to get shredded, I trash whatever needs to be in the trash, and then I file everything else that I need to keep. So that means that, of course I had previous files, but then so many new things happen. I needed to create new files, right? So just having that organization, having them in alphabetical order, if something comes from State Farm, I know I can just go to the S's and drop it in there. I need to pay something, I can put it in this folder to be paid. But having some organization in your life really helps you get your mind right. Paperwork, unmanaged paperwork will destroy not only your environment, your household, but it will take away your ability to manage the things that you need to do. And so a big thing that I had to do was get that under control. Is there something that you ladies realized in 2020 that you needed to do as it related to organizing? I know Rhonda is like organization queen, but I know she did some new things to her office, which I don't necessarily know that they helped you organize, but is there anything that Rhonda, you or Sherry, you guys did to tidy up and organize in preparation for the new year and that you're continuing to do?
Yeah, I think one thing that I do regularly is just purge, because, when I look in my house and I realize that every drawer, every cabinet, every nook and cranny has something in it. And it's just, it makes no sense. Like, I don't need all this stuff. There's just no reason that I need 4 of the same thing, And so that is part of it, is making sure that my mom used to have this saying that everything has a place. And if everything is in its place, then nothing's out of place. And so that is a little bit of how I live. Like, everything belongs. And part of it, interestingly enough, is, and maybe this is just because I'm older, but I've become a creature of habit for certain things that I have to put my keys in the same place. Otherwise, it will be a 20-minute crazy frenzy around my house trying to find my keys. So now that I know that about myself, don't put it in my pocket, don't put it in my purse, hang it on the hook, because otherwise I'm nuts. So little things like that I know about myself, I've had to do just to save my own, my own sanity, is put things where I know I can find them, because then I'm wasting time looking for something.
Makes sense. How about
I
you
think,
here?
yeah, I think for me, it really was about simplicity, like really simplifying my life. If there's anything that I learned, gosh, it's almost going to be a year now that, if you think about it, it's really close to a year that we've been doing this whole shelter in place thing, and realizing that I don't need all the stuff, that life can really, really be simple. And, I too, we sort of got this new year, new look, rearranged my office a little bit to just make it easier to function. And that resulted in eliminating a lot of things. And so, like, if you hadn't touched it in 6 months, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Let it go. Someone else can enjoy it way more than you. Donate it. And so I'm really down to the basics. I don't need a whole lot. I probably want more than I probably need to, but I know that I don't. Things that I used to think were needs, no more. I don't need it. I don't need it.